The reporting that somehow there's going to be a Qatari base on United States soil, that's just not true.
I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s.
So that big disagreement between the literal vice president and the head of the Department of Defense has had, as far as I've seen, no significant update, no clarification as to like, wait, so are the Qataris getting a base or whatever? And it looks pretty bad for Pete Hegseth because MAGA blew up over that. That's why Vance came out and pretended they weren't doing it. So Hegseth, he doesn't want the criticism for that. So he's come up with a distraction. He's moving on to the next phase. I think he's taking a page out of Kristi Noem's book, which is, let's do some fun cosplay and cross something off my bucket list. So he tweeted this: the chairman and I took a ride into the danger zone with Top Gun at Naval Air Station Fallon. Incredible Americans. So they strapped his ass in the back of a plane and flew him around for a bit. It's not the danger zone. It was just, he was a tourist for a little bit and they flew him around or whatever. We could be invading Venezuela any day now, okay? And he's off having fun. Maybe afterward he went up in a hot air balloon or something. I don't know, maybe he zip-lined or he's just having fun doing touristy stuff or whatever. And he's very cool and he's very tough. And I know that because they put him in big boy camo clothes as he was carted around in that jet, JR. He's such a fake, he's such a phony. You see that, by the way, not only did he insist, could we bring up that tweet once again? Not only did he insist that they change his Twitter handle to Sec War, which he's not, it's not the Department of War. He literally put it also in his name. This guy is trying so hard to make that a thing. What do you make of this?
It's weakness. So this goes back to the same thing. They get exposed with a really bad news story about what is it they're doing, because everything they do is bad. They get exposed, they lie about it. After lying about it, everyone sees how much they lied about it and they just go, okay, and move on. There's no responsibility, there's no more consequences, there's no one continuing to say, so what about that lie, bro? People just stop talking about it, they move on to the next distraction, which is apparently him flying around in this jet looking like a clown next. So we have to take notes here. Stop sticking with things that they go, expose them, and then when they move on, start clowning them. Make everything that they move on look like some kind of a joke, because it's really all it is, and actually take our next steps. This comes to a point we're gonna have to stop giving these guys our money. There has to be a point when we stop working to fuel this system of destroying our lives. It has to get really, really blatant. If our options continue to get smaller and smaller because they just keep doing things like this while they literally do things to destroy us and take our money and our resources, we have to stop giving it to them. I don't know how that works. I'm not good at organizing stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Well, and I'm glad that you brought up the money because we paid for this little photo op, this little stunt that he did. Government's shut down, by the way. They're having to do tricky, fizzicky stuff just for the soldiers to even be paid. He couldn't have called that off, shown some solidarity. No, come on, we scheduled this like 2 months ago. I want to fly in the back of the plane. I really like Top Gun. We're doing it anyway. What did that cost? $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 to have him do that? To send him over here, all of his guards, all of his security and everything, because remember, he's terrified of being assassinated. So how much did we pay for that while the government is still shut down? And by the way, really fast, we don't have a lot of time, but I also want to mention they're freaking out now because there is no difference between their elected officials or Pete Hegseth and some rando on the Daily Wire or whatever. They're freaking out about the fact that there's a new Netflix show about gay Marines. They've lost their minds about it. They put out a statement. They literally put out an official statement about a Netflix show that they don't like, which they haven't watched, by the way, saying under President Trump and Secretary Hegseth, the US military is getting back to restoring the warrior ethos. Our standards across the board are elite, uniform, and sex neutral, because the weight of a rucksack or a human being doesn't care if you're a man, a woman, gay, or straight. We will not compromise our standards to satisfy an ideological agenda, unlike Netflix, whose leadership consistently produces and feeds woke garbage to their audience and children. And I don't understand what is going on right now because nobody's asking you to change your standards. Literally nobody's messaging you about that. You decided to weigh in on this on a show. How exactly is the show garbage? Like, I know that you haven't watched it. What is your actual issue with it? Now, we know that it's not about what's actually in there. This is not about what's really going on. This is about identity. It's about gay people. But you just finished saying the rucksack doesn't care if you're gay or straight. So why do you care so much? The rucksack doesn't care. An injured soldier doesn't care. If a gay soldier can carry him, what's the difference if he's gay? But you are freaking out about it. I really feel like they want to have things both ways. They have this idea that having like neutral standards that don't like reference any of this is a good thing, but they themselves are not neutral at all because they have to constantly engage in this culture war, identity politics nonsense. Anyway, super fast point before we move on to our last story.
Last thought. Every response to this should just be Pete Hegseth, an AI image or a Photoshop image of Pete Hegseth making out with like Kash Patel with a bunch of poop falling on their heads. That's all it should be. That's all. Just don't take anything they say seriously. Just respond with the same level of ridiculousness that they are.
Yeah. You just reminded me, by the way. Remember how they freaked out over some of the depictions of them in South Park or whatever? Oh, but now they love satire. Oh, why are you guys like, God, you're so lame. Why do you freak out all the time as you guys were crying about South Park?